everybody. It's good to be back. I have an episode 2 of our Scientology 101 series that we're doing, where I'm trying to bring out information that anyone that is new to this movement would find useful to kind of figure out what in the hell we're talking about. Because, I mean, it can get pretty confusing. I remember when I started, I was just like, okay, I don't understand what's going on. And I just had to try to just binge watch everything I could and try to figure out what was even going on and what did some of this stuff mean and some of the language and everything and so I just thought it would be interesting. And then plus I figure for those of us that are kind of old school, we've kind of been here a while, there might be something that we forgot or something that we didn't hear about that we find interesting. So I just thought that it's my husband's dog, and he's probably home out there somewhere feeding the chickens. So the dog has to act up. But anyway, I thought that we might find stuff in it that's interesting too. So we're on episode 2. I don't know how many episodes there's going to be. Probably 4 or 5, maybe 6. I don't know. But maybe 3. I don't. And I'll be doing other videos in the meantime. Like tomorrow's video is not an episode of this. It's actually... What is tomorrow's video? I can't remember. Anyway, but it's not an episode of this. I do remember that. So anyway, I'm going to get started. It's good to see you guys. This one might be a little bit longer than what I've been doing the last few days, but I'm going to try to get through it fairly quickly. So I've got Mischief Managed is back, and she's in the back starring some comments for me. So we'll try to get through here as fast as we can, but I still want to talk to you guys, so we'll figure it out. So today is episode 2 of the series Scientology 101. I will be looking at 21 stories that Going Clear, the documentary on Netflix, that Going Clear didn't tackle. And I'm going to tell you, it's a condensed version of these 21. We're not going to study 21 stories real tight. Some of these we will be going back to, and some of these I've already covered in other videos, which you can go back and watch. But, there are a few new ones on here too that I didn't even know about. So I kind of like that. I encourage anyone that's seeking information on this anti-Scientology movement to go watch Going Clear. I really do. That and Leah Remini's docuseries, Scientology and the Aftermath. Those two things really will help you to kind of, figure out what we're talking about on some of it. So, and who we're talking about. Because sometimes we just throw out names like Aaron or Marilyn or, Jenna or Reese or whatever. And you're probably like, I don't know who you're talking about or what we're talking about. So I was there, sisters and brothers. So I just want to try to, give you a little bit of advice. Those two things are really good to watch. I know that Going Clear couldn't cover everything. So if we touch on these 21 stories, we still won't cover everything. There are still hundreds and hundreds of more stories, but I think a sequel would be a really great idea. I don't know if they're even thinking about it, but I think it would sure be a good idea. I mean, it would be, I'd watch it. This is just a really small sampling of the stories and the horrors associated with the Church of Scientology, y'all. So right before we get started, really, I'm going to check in with my chat for just a minute and kind of, get a little bit of a grip on it before I get too far behind. And then I'll get started. So, Creepy B5, hi, sweetheart. Susie, I'm hoping to join. However, if I don't, love and peace, beautiful, loving, kind woman, my friend. Creepy B, I love it when you're here, but I always know that you're here even when you're not, because I know you're going to be in the replay crew, because you're always there. You're one of my just strongest supporters, and I appreciate you so much. I truly, truly do. So, yeah, but first coffee. But this but first coffee is Mischief Managed, and she says she's back in the office, so no messing around with Susie today. So inappropriate heifer says, "Oh shit, the mischief will ensue." That is true. That is true. Whoops. Sorry, guys. I'm like all thumbs. Joe McCoy, it's good to see you. Hello, another Tuesday in the high plains. Hope the world is good where you are. It's really good here. It's kind of cold outside, but it's nice. I'm not going to complain. Marilee, it's so good to see you. Joe says, as Pete Seeger used to sing, you gotta walk the lonesome valley. Yeah, inappropriate heifer, it's always so good to see you. Eileen Bradley, good to see you. My glasses are like weird today. I don't know what's up with them. I've probably got my laptop sat weird. It's really good to see you. Joel says, am I old school? I'm sure I'm old. Well, we've been here a while, buddy. We're not new, right? So anyway, I'm gonna stop there. Oh, you can't get it on Netflix in Canada? Oh man. I wonder if there's a different way to do it. I'll look around and see. If I can find it a different way, I will let you know. So you never know. I dig around enough, I might find something. So Terry Morgan, good to see you. I'm just excited. I've got a pretty good little chat going this morning or this evening. So anyway, yesterday, y'all, I did recommend Leah Remini's docuseries to anyone wanting to learn about the evil cult of Scientology. Today, I'm backing that up with the recommendation to watch Going Clear on Netflix, or if I can find it somewhere else. I should try to figure out how to tape it and send it to you. I don't know. There's got to be a way, right? Because I mean, not everybody can get Netflix. I'll see that's in the back of my head now. I'll be thinking about that. For today's live, I want to talk about some stories or some people. It's both. Some of them are stories and some of them are people who didn't make that cut into that documentary. I realize some of you will have heard some or all of these stories, but some of you may not have heard any of them or some of them. And this won't be a deep dive, as I said, but we're going to hit on them a little bit. And then some of them we're going to go back and actually have lives about. And some of them we have already. So, number one, Katie Holmes. Y'all, this lady's a badass. If you want to think about it, really. And they skipped right over her. I mean, they went from Nicole to a girlfriend he had after him and Katie split up. So it's like, I don't know, kind of weird. But anyway, I mean, geez, the lady deserves an award, right? For enduring 6 years. Can you imagine? Married to Tom Cruise. Plus, what I wrote. Oh, plus she was the inspiration to his like wackadoodle jumping on Oprah's couch little incident. And I really thought when I saw that, I thought that David Miscavige would be pissed, like, don't get up there and act like a fool, that kind of thing. But, according to several people, he loved it. He thought it was great, which says a lot about his mentality too, right? I think they're both like little boys in grown-up bodies instead of adults in little bodies. They're little people in big bodies. But anyway, but after 6 years living with the famous actor, Katie said, see ya, wouldn't want to be ya. And she and her daughter, Suri, literally escaped Scientology using a burner phone to contact her parents and anybody else that she needed to contact. She hired 3 lawyers in 3 states and rented a secret apartment in New York City, filed for divorce from him, which she got, and filed for sole custody of Suri, which she got. And so I'm telling you, I think she is a hero. Number 2, Leah Remini. Leah, who made the docuseries Scientology and the Aftermath, was raised in the church after her mom married a member. At 10, they moved to Clearwater, Florida. 30 years later, she quit the cult after problems with the leadership. And let's be honest, she upset Tom Cruise. I mean, seriously, that's what happened. Was she upset Tom Cruise? And all she was doing was asking where Shelley Miscavige was. So but they said she didn't have, what was it, the fucking rank to ask that question. I'm like, oh my God. You can't even ask where somebody's at. Your friend, you know, like suddenly I wouldn't be able to ask, where the hell did Mischief Managed go? Or, where's Nico? I don't know where he's at. Nico's dropping in to say he's listening, but he can't be in chat. He's gaming. Hugs all around, my lovelies. Well, I see how we rate. Oh, goodness. So, anyway, speak of the devil, we're going to talk about Shelley Miscavige. Ever present at his side, his wife, Shelley Miscavige, suddenly went MIA several years ago. Leah Remini, concerned for her friend's safety, repeatedly asked where Shelley was, and especially at the all-star Italian wedding of Tom Cruise. Leah was like a dog with a bone, y'all. She wouldn't let it go and filed a police report for a missing person. But if you know anything about how Scientology, how far the LAPD is up Scientology's butt, then you probably are not surprised to know that the LAPD, they called her concerns unfounded and dropped the case immediately. They didn't really even do much about it. They said at one point that they saw her personally, but when Leah asked them point blank, did you see her? They wouldn't answer her. So it could have been anybody on a telephone or something. So I don't know. I don't know where she's at. And of course, out came the Church of Scientology's press release that said the entire episode was nothing more than a publicity stunt for Ms. Remini, cooked up with unemployed, anti-religious zealots who blog on the fringe of the internet. Who do you think they were talking about there? Despite that, to this day, Shelley is nowhere to be seen publicly. Nobody's seen her or confirmed that they've seen her. Most speculate that she is at a COS or Church of Scientology base located near Lake Arrowhead, about 90 minutes away from LA. And sources who knew her well, and this is weird, it's just a weird way to frame it. Sources who knew her well say she'll likely stay there for as long as required of her. But then they said, but not because she has to. I mean, it's because she wants to. Yeah, sure. I'm buying that one. Number 4 is Jenna Miscavige. My regular viewers are kind of going to know that I am somewhat obsessed in a non-creepy way, though, with Jenna. And it has nothing to do with her last name. I couldn't care less. Jenna is a truly calming soul, but she's also tough, and I love that. And I am just fascinated with with the contrast of that. Plus, I think she has the prettiest teeth on TV. Her and Aaron, I think, both have just the prettiest teeth. It makes me sick. Boy, if they ever got together and had kids, they'd have some pretty teeth, probably. Anyway, Jenna left the Church of Scientology at age 21 along with her husband, Dallas Hill. She had been raised in the cult, and she wrote a tell-all book, which is my favorite book of all times. And she was telling about signing the infamous billion-year contract at age 7. Okay? When she was 13, she was required to to fill out a life history form detailing every sexual experience that she had ever had in her life, including masturbation. And she knew that she had nothing to hide, but she also knew that she had to do it. And so, she did. But she said that she felt like that they were asking for the information just for the sake of having, or just for the sake of having it. It didn't have anything to do with anything with Scientology, but she thought that they just wanted the information in case they needed something to blackmail her with in the future, which, yeah. Number 5, Tom Cruise versus Brooke Shields. Going Clear also didn't go into Tom Cruise's public battle with psychiatry or psychology, either one, or that he called actress Brooke Shields irresponsible, okay, for saying that anti-suppressant medication helped cure her of postpartum depression. He said, when someone says medication has helped them, it is to cope. It didn't cure anything. There is no science. There is nothing that can cure them whatsoever. Wow, Tom. Not even Scientology? I remember you saying that it and specifically you could cure anything. That if there was a car accident, that the only one that could help those people in that car accident were Scientologists, which is ridiculous. I mean, I watch these videos every night where people have these car wrecks and these, people. Okay, it's in the UK, so you know how I am obsessed with the UK and Australia. But anyway, so yeah, I mean, these people in these ambulances and helicopters and everything, they save hundreds and thousands of people a year. And I am really doubting that they are all Scientologists. Really. Anyway, Brooke, in a much less colorful response to Mr. Cruz, said Tom should stick to saving the world from aliens and let women who are experiencing postpartum depression decide what treatment options are best for them. Do we have another rock star? I'm not even a huge Brooke Shields fan. That was gold. That was something else. Hey, Dusty, good to see you. I haven't seen you in forever, it feels like. Number 6, Narcanon. Narcanon, y'all, it's just another way that the Church of Scientology tries to recruit new members. It's a drug rehabilitation center that claims an 85% success rate through their cold turkey therapeutic withdrawal training routines. And I ain't buying it. I am not buying it. So there are literally no classically trained employees there, no doctors, no nurses, no medics of any kind. It's just people that have been trained through Scientology. So anyway, the treatment involves massive doses of niacin, hours at a time in a hot sauna, and grueling physical activity. In 2009, officials investigated the deaths of 21-year-old Hillary Ann Holton, 32-year-old Gabriel W. Graves, and 28-year-old Casey Diane Wernick. All were patients that died while under the care at the Oklahoma facility. Wernick's family sued Narcanon, I can't even talk, Arrowhead, alleging the facility gave her the wrong medication and that they failed to get her proper care when she developed an upper respiratory infection. The family sued with her in 2013. I want y'all to listen, though, as we go through these things, because I'm telling you, let me try to see where I read that at. Yeah, 2009 was a rough ass year for Scientology. When I go through these, listen to all the things that are that happened in 2009 and in 2013. It's been rough, y'all. Hopefully, 2025 will be the demise of them if we're lucky, right? Number 7, William S. Burroughs. He took Scientology very seriously for the better part of a decade, which was his most artistically fertile period, according to a writer. I could not find that writer's name, so I didn't list it. And anyway, so otherwise I would have listed it. So today, where so much attention focuses on the science, this is what he said. Today, where so much attention focuses on the science fiction origins of Scientology, it's easy to forget how Scientology, in harmony, the church was with a whole range of countercultural, new age, and anti psychiatric practices of the 60s. Burroughs literally reached out to friends, encouraging them to, quote, get their audit on. He wrote a 1959 letter to Allen Ginsberg that said, I have a new method of writing. This is interesting. I have a new method of writing and do not want to publish anything that has not been inspected and processed. I cannot explain the method to you until you have necessary training. I tell you, find a Scientology auditor and have yourself run. And he was a smart man, very smart. Later in life, he would denounce Hubbard and Scientology and said, quote, nobody of knowledge needs an organizational policy. Organized policies can only impede the advancement of knowledge. So he did a complete turnaround on there. Yeah, 2009 was not their year. I hope they have many more just like it. Anyway, number 8. I had not ever heard of this one, and I am going to look into it. So, Project Canology was a response to the church's legal fight to remove from the internet that infamous leaked interview of Tom Cruise. Now, I've heard about that, but I didn't know that there was like a Project Chanology was run by members of Anonymous and accused the organization of practicing internet censorship. The group used DDoS attacks, prank calls, and IRL protests, plus a campaign to get the IRS to investigate the cult's tax exemption status. Well, we know that didn't really work. So, anyway, number 9, fraud in France. I've kind of heard a little bit about this, but I think it would be interesting to cover some more. In 2013, a French court rejected Scientology's request to overturn a 2009 conviction for organized fraud. It claimed religious freedoms. The Cour de Cassation ordered the church to pay 600,000 euros, which was $812,000, in fines for preying financially on followers in the 1990s. So France wasn't jacking around with them. Nobody does. It seems like no other countries really mess with them. They don't let them get away with shit except for us. And I don't understand it. I've said before, we've got to follow the money. It is somewhere. It goes somewhere. I'm just not sure where, but it goes somewhere, and it's somewhere big. Kids on Stage for a Better World is number 10. A teen pop group created by Scientology to entice the young'uns. That's what it said. The song lyrics, or they sang lyrics like, a being causes his own feelings, which happens to be a line from an LRH poem. And I fully intend to look into this one because I got to know a little bit more about that one. Number 11, Lisa Marie Presley. This one I found interesting too. I always thought she was kind of odd, and which was probably the Scientology aspect of it. But I didn't even know for a long time that she and her mom were in Scientology. So I just thought they were weird. But anyway, so Lisa Marie Presley, after leaving the Church of Scientology in 2012, Elvis Presley's daughter spoke out against the cult, disguising her criticism in a song called So Long. It said, quote, religion so corrupt and running lives. And it also said farewell, fair weathered friends, among other things. But anyway, that was two of the lyrics that they discussed. I'd like to look into that one a little bit more, maybe look up the lyrics and see what else it says. It might be interesting. Anyway, she described the story behind the song, but didn't mention the cult by name. She said, quote, there's a point in my life where no one would tell me anything bad. No one was telling me what was happening or going on, really. So I had a very obscure and actually completely blocked view of reality for a very long time. So when I got rid of those nuts in my life and these whatever, they're crazy criminal people away, that I was like, okay, I'm going to find out what's really going on out there. Bless her heart, right? Number 12. We're actually doing pretty good on time. The Insane Scientology Christmas Catalog. Did you know there's a Christmas catalog? I didn't know that. I'd like to see it. But it includes perfect gifts like the $5,000 Hubbard Professional Mark Ultra 8 e-meter and a 3,653 page biographical encyclopedia of L. Ron Hubbard. No freaking thing, Santa. Save your money, Santa. Save your money. Okay, 13. Jamie DeWolf, Hubbard's biological great-grandson, who's a slam poet and an extremely vocal critic of Scientology. And I want to look in more to him because his grandpa, which would have been LRH's son, was he turned into a pretty interesting dude and had a lot to say. And so I'd like to see what he said, what his son said, and then also what this grandson said, or this, So I think it would be really, 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 really interesting to look into that one. 14, Teresa Duncan and Jeremy Blake. Video game designer Teresa Duncan and boyfriend Jeremy Blake committed self-unaliving just days apart. She in her New York City apartment, and he a week later by walking into the water at Rockaway Beach. According to friends, they were being harassed by Scientology. And I did do a video on that one detailing their story, and it is so sad and it'll just piss you off. I mean, Number 15, Ron Hubbard's Space Jazz album. And they didn't say anything about it. But I said, nope, no thanks. That's another one. Will not be on my Christmas list. Number 16, how about Scientology's Wikipedia editing scandal in 2009? Wikipedia literally banned all Church of Scientology owned networks from making edits on articles related to Scientology after it found the church had a campaign in place to manipulate material and remove information critical of itself from the web. Yeah. Number 17, my most heartbreaking one, basically. Lisa McPherson. I can't figure out why they left her out, because to me, she is one of the most important stories and people, right, associated with this anti-Scientology movement. She is the reason that a lot of people get involved in it. Like people on the street that hear about it, they see that memorial in Clearwater. They, she's a I can't figure out why she was left out. I really can't. And I did do a story on her. Um, I would love to do more. Charlie, go home, baby. My dad's dog's here late again. Anyway, I can't figure out why she was left out. Look for my video detailing her story. In 1995, Lisa went clear, reaching the top realm after years of auditing. 2 months later, after being slightly injured in a car accident, she was removed from the hospital and taken by COS to the Fort Harrison. Get down, you're wet. You've been out there messing in the water. Ugh. She was taken to the Fort Harrison Hotel in Clearwater, and she died 17 days later. 17 hellish days for Lisa. And if you don't know the story, go look at my live, go look at other people's lives. They probably did it better than I did. It breaks my heart and it makes me sick. It really does. And there are a bunch of stories just as bad, but for some reason hers just, I think because she was wanting help and she was in a hospital where she was going to get help and they went and got her and took her out of it. And anyway, 2 felonies were dropped after a medical examiner changed his cause of death, which I call her murder, to accidental. But the civil case against the cult was settled in 2004. So her parents did sue them. I mean, and they said, that it wasn't going to bring her back. But when you're talking about big business, big whatever, money's the only way to get them. I mean, you've kind of got to go after money to make a point with them. Number 18. Ellie Perkins, another crazy video I made, so look it up for the full horrible story. Ellie was a Scientologist who was brutally murdered by her schizophrenic son after she kept him from getting psychiatric medicines. So he had them and they kept them away from him. I did a story on her. Number 19, Noah Lotkett. Another one of my videos that you can watch for the full story. There's other people. I think that I'm pretty sure that Aaron at Growing Up in Scientology, I'm pretty sure he did one, and he probably knows a lot more about it than I could find. But I found enough to make me sick. But anyway, 24-year-old Noah Lotkett jumped from a 10th floor window of a New York City hotel. His fingers, y'all, were still grasping $171 in cash. Can you imagine he jumped from 10 stories and hit the ground and his hand was still clenched around that money? He'd previously, that was all that he had left after pretty much turning everything else over to Scientology. He had previously spent $5,000 on auditing, but became paranoid before his self-unaliving. After his cover story in Time magazine hit, writer Richard Behar was sued by the cult for $416 million for one freaking story. But guess what? Their case was quickly thrown out. Thank you, whoever did that. Ugh. Number 20. See, we're just about done. Jet Travolta. Did Scientology kill John Travolta's son? I don't know. But after TMZ reported that Travolta had taken his 16-year-old son off of anti-seizure medications right before his death from a seizure, Critics of the cult claimed COS laws could have been to blame for his death in 2009. Number 21. Ding, 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 right? South Park's Trapped in the Closet. After a 2005 episode mocked COS, Travolta and Cruz specifically, Isaac Hayes, a Scientologist who played Chef, quit the show in protest. Later, a rerun of the episode was pulled, so Scientology somehow got it pulled, prompting accusations that Viacom, Comedy Central, and Paramount's parent company had done so because it was concurrently promoting Cruz's Mission Impossible 3. So I just like, fuck Tom Cruise. I can't stand that man. So in conclusion, I wonder why they didn't at least touch on some of these stories, especially Lisa McPherson's, but some of the others. Or will there ever be a Going Clear sequel? I really wish that there would be, because I think that they could do 2 or 3 sequels. I really do. As long as there's people in Scientology, there's going to be horror stories that could be covered. So, ugh. Trust me, there are hundreds of other important, shocking, and horrific stories out there about Scientology. I just want to ask the IRS how they can continue to justify ignoring clear evidence that the Church of Scientology is not a church. It's a human trafficking, abusive, money laundering, real estate scam cult. And they do not and have never qualified as a real church in order to get their tax exempt status. So that's what I've got. So I'm going to check in again with my chat. And any lurkers out there, please feel free to join in. Y'all, we welcome your participation. We are all about community and friends and all that. We just love having people here. So lurkers, come on out of the dark. Okay, I'm trying to buzz on up here a little bit. I need to quit reading and go on. Make sure I'm not missing anybody. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah. Back to where we were so I can go down now. Okay. Mischief is here as long as her Wi-Fi holds out. She's still here. So it's holding out till about the end. I love when y'all talk to each other. I say that all the time, but I do. But First Coffee says, then Leah wrote a KR on Tommy Boy and laughed. Yeah, I think it's funny. She was like a dog with a bone, y'all. She wasn't going to let go. I mean, I'm not a fan because of some of the stuff that she's done recently, and you can check into my lives and some of Aaron's lives to see what that is, and probably other people too. But if you don't know about it, go back and look at it. Yeah, Eileen, I agree. Who asks a kid that? I mean, who asks anybody that but a kid? So creepy. Can you imagine poor little Jenna, 13 years old? I remember when I was 13 years old, and I mean, I had crushes on boys, but there was no sexual activity. And I know some people there are. I know that. And I was just thinking about it, because my granddaughter, Jovi, is 13 years old. She'd be Vetta's one of her older sisters. And she's 13, and I'm like, I cannot imagine somebody asking her those questions and her feeling like completely pressured to answer it. It just makes me sick. Dusty Soda Dispenser, Thursday, December 5th is Lisa McPherson Memorial. Never forget. Absolutely. This is an all-day event starting in Melbourne, Australia, then to Clearwater, Florida, then to LA in California. Please join us. Oh my gosh, that's going to be amazing. I will definitely be there watching. I wish I could be there in either Clearwater or LA, but I can't. My doctor won't let me travel. Oh, but I love that. Aw, Dusty, I love you too. Yes, and thanks for the reminder. There's Dusty's link to his channel. Again, I listed several yesterday and they are on my community page, but those were some of the bigger channels. And I'm getting ready to compile a list or have Mischief Manage do it. She does all my list compiling while I'm researching all these stories. So she, guys, I cannot imagine. I don't think I would still have a channel without her. I really don't. I think I would have just given up because she encourages me. She helps me. That Marilee does too. She's blowing me kisses. So does Hef. I mean, all of my mods are amazing. Absolutely amazing. But those three are talking to me daily and pepping me up and saying, you can do this, and try this or try that. And it's just, I don't know. I love them. Love them. Love you all. No Face. I don't remember that name, but welcome. And it says at but first Susie. It reminds me of Tommy Scoville. He would always say my name when I was in a live, and it's supposed to be but first coffee, Susie Oberholtz, but he would say but coffee first or something like that. But coffee first, Susie Oberholtz. And I would be like, okay, whatever. Doug, good to see you. I've been missing you. Hello. Oh, you've been sick. Yeah, that sucks. I've had a stomach virus the last couple days, and so has Megan. And so I wasn't for sure if I was going to be able to do this one today, but Nico says comment Scientology gifts are like, here is a certificate for a lobotomy. That's what they need to give Tom Cruise and little Davy. Yep. Scientology sticks their Pinocchio nose into everybody's business. DOA is a fraud is here somewhere. Yeah, DOA is a fraud. Yeah. Doug says, oh, in case nobody knows this, Scientology sucks. It's a cult. That pretty well. I don't even have to do lives. I just need to say that every day. Just come on here every day and say, in case nobody knows, Scientology sucks and they are a cult. Yes, Marilee, there could be dozens of sequels. Absolutely. Nico says the Aftermath Foundation's new Christmas game, pin the devil horns on any SPTV creator. That's hilarious. Yes, she did do an awesome job sending you the list, Marilee. She sent it to me too. Yes, she is Mischief Manage is a great person. She rocks. She is amazing. DJ Nico says, my favorite saying is it sucks and it doesn't even feel any good. Go figure. Aw. Well, y'all, I'm gonna go. I am right at 44 minutes. I did good, Mischief. I did good. Yay. She's doing this. Like, yay. She's like always rooting me on. I was afraid. I told her, I said, now this one might go long. So, but anyway, I will be back tomorrow. It's not a very long one. I'm going to kind of do a short one tomorrow because I'm going to try to make a pretty decent meal. Mark's going to cook dinner tonight. So I'm going to try to make some salmon and stuff tomorrow night. So I want to get, get it done. So I will see you guys tomorrow. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. And I'll see you later.